Good afternoon, everyone. Futures Brizio here, September 24th, 9/24/25, just after 5 p.m. New York City time. And I hope everybody had a great day. And just jumping in here to give a little bit of an update, a couple of trades today, and also just kind of an update on some of these commitment of traders type of setups. And we did have a couple of things start to play out in that direction from what we talked about yesterday with potential setups. So we'll go through all that today. As always, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and any questions or comments, leave them down below. I'm not going to rehash everything with COT. It's the last 2 or 3 videos I've made have gone into this. So if you are not familiar with what COT is, I suggest you go back to the one that I recorded first in this series. It was probably last week. It might have been the week before that, actually. And catch up on it, or do a little internet searching on commitment of traders. But I'm going to assume that you have some knowledge of that. Again, this is used in futures trading and just kind of helps you point you in the direction of where the large traders, particularly what we call the commercial traders, which are like the producers and the users of commodities and futures products, what direction they may be going in down the road. Okay. Like I said, it's not, you can't use COT data for timing entries because there can often be a significant lag between when they start to shift direction and when the price actually starts to reflect that. However, they are a good leading indicator of where price is likely to go, based on their positioning in the market. But again, I want to rehash all of that. And sorry, guys, if I take drinks here, I apologize. Okay, so we're going to jump into first, since we have this on the screen, this is crude oil. And if you remember when I was discussing crude oil in yesterday's video, and we were looking at the COT data for crude oil, and if we go back to this again, I was saying yesterday that I expected to see a turn up in crude oil, both based on seasonality data and on current COT data. And again, remember, as we shown here, we have been in an extreme long position for the commercials. This is the COT index. And you can see it, my cursor out of the way so you can see it, but you can see it entered up into this extreme long area back in actually the end of July. And really, we've been still trading down ever since then. This is a perfect example of timing, right? Just because it's up here doesn't mean you just jump in long. We still overall on the weekly time frame and probably on the daily continued with the downtrend. And the seasonality also suggests a turn too. But if we look at the price action today, this is a 30-minute chart. If we just drill out a little bit, you can see on a 4-hour chart, let's look at the 1 hour, we had this really nice trend today. Well, this actually started 2 days ago. We put in this higher low, we had a run up. So we've had this nice move up. We have, if we zoom out even further, let's go back to the 4-hour. We've now broken some structure level right here. We've broken this structure. This one is probably the more important one because this is the last major structure before this leg down. But we are potentially seeing the beginning of a turn higher in crude oil. And I say potentially because, look, we could get up here and still reverse back down. But we do have the COT in our favor. And you can see just by the price action on these mid to lower time frames that these are pretty aggressive moves up. And again, the COT is suggestive that may continue. I did take one very quick trade on this that I'm already out of. Not a good entry. This came at, time did I get into this? It was around 8 o'clock this morning right here. Price had been moving up pretty much since the London session. This is the 1-hour chart of November crude oil. So this was, basically this area started during the overnight London session pre-market, which obviously I was not on the charts at that time. I came to the charts around 8 o'clock. I saw this breakout and I felt pretty strong that this would probably keep going. So I did jump into a long. You can see I'm already out of it. I got out of it about 2 hours ago, only because this was not a good fill. And so I do anticipate to see some sort of pullback here. And but at this point, I will look to, probably re-enter this at some point. We've now got a structure level sitting right here. So as long as price doesn't violate this structure low down here, then I'm still pretty bullish. But I would like to see, some sort of pullback off this area, from a Fibonacci standpoint. If you follow fibs, see it come down to the 50 or lower. But as long as we hold this area, technically I'm still looking for longs on crude, but I didn't want to hold it because I have a feeling we will see a bigger pullback, and I just didn't want to get into drawdown or risk a stop out. So I took a quick day trade on it. I'm out of it already. The other one that I took is in the 5-year T notes, and I again talked about on the last couple of videos, that the commitment of traders on T notes is also bearish. You can see I took a short today. This was around 20 after 8 New York time this morning, and I got out of this. Again, this is a 5-minute chart, guys. So this was about we're at 20. This was about an hour and a half ago that I closed that trade. And again, it did go a little bit lower. I probably could have held it, but again, I just wanted to exit before the 5 o'clock market change. So if we look at this, and if we again, to recall your memory, looking at the commitment of traders for 5-year T notes, and we look at this COT chart here when it loads. This website can be very slow. You can see we are in a heavily extreme net short area. Again, this comes back to what I said about crude oil. We have entered into this extreme net area way back in mid-June. So it's been 3 months we have been inside this extreme short area. Yet the prices continue to go up, and we have made swing highs and swing lows. And as I said yesterday, yeah, you could have traded based on that. These are weekly candles. Okay, fine. There could have been a short here, a short here, a short here, a short here. And this may still turn out to be just a pullback and will go higher. But, just based on the COT data, I felt, pretty strong about taking a short position in here. And here is the 1 hour chart. Here's the daily chart. And this is just 5-year T note future. Now, I wanted to point out that, this move down now is looking pretty aggressive. Now, we did have something similar back here, and then price turned and went back up and made new highs. So I'm not saying this is the end of this uptrend, but this does look more aggressive. And so as we continue to make these lower swing highs and lower lows, I am, fairly confident that we'll continue. So, so I did take that short today, and I did exit it already. So, now we'll wait for another pullback. I would say we probably have a swing area sitting, somewhere right here between, somewhere between here and here. This is only a 10-minute chart. Go to a 15-minute chart, but still the swing is, somewhere, on this time frame, we have a swing area sitting basically, right here. So any sort of pullback up towards this area would be another good place to sell, and we'll see what happens. Overall, the swing area on the longer time frame to, for the kind of drop dead for the short position sits right here. All right, so this is the lower time frame swing. If you want trend continuation, if you're looking at overall with this trend, this is our higher time frame swing. As long as we hold below here, any pullback, even if it blows through this area, is still a selling opportunity. Okay, so that is 5-year T notes. And then the other one that I'm still have been holding on to is corn. You can see it was a down day on corn. These are Heikin-Ashi candles. That's why they look a little weird. But you can see we trended down all day today. I did move my stop to break even. That's why you see the red and the green kind of mixed right here. All right, because my stop was down here. I did move it up to break even. If it comes down this far, then I don't want to be in this anymore anyways. But I am counting on that this is just the market just took a breather today, and that we eventually will push up. You can see I have a take profit sitting up at these highs, which, to be honest, if this bullish market is going to continue based on COT data, this probably will go much further. And again, if we look at the COT data for corn, we are in a bullish market just based on COT and seasonality. By the way, for corn, we are seasonally also in a long stance. You can see again, timing, right? Can't go but take trades on this just on timing, but we have been in this extreme long area since the beginning of May, but yet the market continued to stair step down. It looks like since about a month ago, we started to turn up. Now we are seeing the COT index come out of this extreme area, and it's now, as of last Friday, we'll see what it does this Friday, if it pops back inside here or if it keeps going down. But we have come out of this area. That often can be very bullish, meaning it builds up, and then when it comes out of here, that's when the buying actually starts, because the rest of the market's trying to catch up to the commercials. And for as long as price works its way down here and through this white area until it gets down into the extreme short area, that's still a very valid area to buy from. Okay, and that's actually kind of what we saw here, right? Went up into this area, price continued to sell down, okay, and then it popped back up, and it wasn't until it started moving down here that we finally started getting this uptrend that went on for, what is this, at least 3 months, that just went up, up, up. So like I said, and it's the same thing right here. Price came up into this extreme long area, the price continued to go down, and then finally here when it started to when they started to liquidate their long positions, that's when the buying actually started in the market and went up for a couple of months here for a nice rally. Okay, so overall still bullish in corn. So those are the 3 positions that I wanted to show you. In terms of other markets, if we look at, I want to show you natural gas, which I did not trade, but natural gas appears that it could be making a turn. We have pretty much the same situation with natural gas as crude oil. Okay, if we go down to an hourly chart, we potentially have a swing lower, higher low put in and higher high, and you can see, right, price came down here, tried to roll over, failed, came up, took out this structure, all right, and then pulled back again, and then came right back with bullish price action. All of this was today, because this is again a 1 hour chart. We do have structure, obviously equal highs and structure sitting right up here. So I would like to see price, definitively get through here, but these are all equal highs. This is more of like a retail trap area. So if this continues, I do expect this to break through and continue higher. And again, that would feed into the COT on natural gas, which, similar to crude oil, is bullish right now. We'll let this load up. And again, we are just coming into the extreme long area on natural gas, and we'll see what the update is on Friday when the new COT data comes out. But this is looking pretty bullish, and it looks like the chart is starting to bear that out as well. Price been going down here really for a long time, so it is really not surprising to see this thing start turning up. And again, we may have COT data on our side with this. Okay, So I probably will be looking for long positions in natural gas. Once it gets up in this area, we probably will see some sort of pullback hesitation as sellers try to step back in here, or we get profit taking it for longs at this level. But usually when you see a retest of these equal, in this case, equal highs, when the technicals and the fundamentals are on our side, even though there'll probably be a reaction off this, I do expect this will break through. So, but we'll see as we get up here. But between where it is now and up here, I do think we will continue to see prices rally. And again, the COT data supports that. Okay. Let me just look at some of these currencies. I did not trade any of these. But we were talking about lows, about taking shorts in the euro, and you can see that would have been a good trade today. The euro sold down. This was, again, a 1 hour chart, so this was pretty much the whole day from up here to down here. Okay, we were also talking about the Aussie being down, and here's the Aussie. Again, we had pretty much a full day of selling going on here, and we talked about the Japanese yen maybe going up. And do I have the yen on this? I don't know. Do I have it over here? Yeah, I have it here. So this one would not have been good. The yen went down today too. So I didn't trade this, but the yen is not supportive of that. Let's look at the yen COT data again, just to make sure that we didn't look at it wrong. I'm just looking at my notes. And I do have it showing it as bullish based on the COT, but let's take a quick look again and make sure of where we're at. And we just might be early. Okay, so on the yen, yeah, I don't know why I have this as, oh yeah, okay. I do have it as long. And you can see again, we entered into this extreme long area back at the beginning of August, and we've just been kicking around in here really the last couple of months, but you can see it's gone completely sideways. I mean, look at this, is a weekly chart. Look at this. Since it got up in here, it's done absolutely nothing. It's just trading inside a very, very tight range. So, you know, and we did see prices go down today, but again, this is a 1 hour chart. What I was showing you is a weekly chart, obviously a very different look. So we'll see what happens. This is a good one to watch because although price is down right now, if that COT plays out, we may very well at some point here see a big, you know, push, and you see that, a big impulsive push up, and then a higher low put in, and then start to move higher. So let's wait and see on that. You can see in the past when it's gone up into these extreme long areas. Again, it's basically when it breaks out of that area and starts to really push back towards the other end is when the rally starts. That happened right here. That happened right here. Okay, it happened right here, going back the last few times that's happened. So we may have to wait on this until this COT index pushes out of this extreme long zone and gets back down into this white area just below there. That will probably be our trigger. In the meantime, we're just going to watch this. There's no reason to jump in, but it is something on my watch list for longs, and that's what I'm watching. And the British pound is the same way. So those are two that I'm watching. All right. So overall, guys, potential turn to the upside in crude oil and natural gas. From a seasonality standpoint, and I mentioned this yesterday, the seasonality for crude oil and natural gas, though, are not supportive of a long-term rally, only into mid to late October, basically through about early mid-October in crude oil into late October for natural gas. And then we tend to see a seasonal shift back down again, but we'll see. I mean, the COT data is the primary. If the seasonality goes with it, then that's just an extra confluence. But I just wanted to, stress that from a seasonality standpoint, We do have confluence with the COT data in crude oil and natural gas, but only temporarily. So we'll have to be cautious as we get into like mid-October on what those prices do at that point. So, and again, corn bullish. The soy complex and wheat I'm pretty neutral on right now. I'm waiting for a little bit more information on those. 5-year T-notes down, and then the currency futures. A few of them are up, a few of them are down. I showed you a couple of them. So, but you can definitely analyze them through the COT chart. All right. So I'm going to leave it there, guys. Try to keep this one a little bit shorter. But again, I just wanted to highlight a couple of trades I took today and said still holding this corn trade. I've been holding this since last week. And I'm going to continue to hold it until either I get stopped out at break even or it goes up and hits that take profit at that next large swing high there. So yeah, we'll see. We've got a couple more days of trading until we get our next COT update on Friday afternoon. And we'll see how these shake out, and if we get anything that either confirms or continues or reverses our current thoughts on some of these things. So, all right. So any questions, guys, leave them down below. Make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. And again, this COT trading with futures is great. But remember, you have to be patient and be prepared to sit on your hands for a long time in certain markets. And you have to just let certain price action go. Wait for your opportunities based on what these big money players are doing. And we just want to, hop on their coattails and go when they're ready to go. But again, it doesn't happen overnight. And, theoretically, you may only get a couple, three trades a year. Or chances to enter a couple of, 3 times a year on any market. Now, there could be several entries within that move, but you could definitely have it where there's only, 2 or 3 points on the chart where it moves significantly. Let me put it that way. Maybe more than 2 or 3 trades, but you may only get 2 or 3 times during the year when price gets to one of these extreme zones and then makes a move out of it, okay? But those are the opportunities you're waiting for, and those are the ones you want to try to jump on once the price action kind of lines up with what they're doing. So that's what I'm trying to show you here, and working out pretty decent, but it does require a lot of patience and just keeping your powder dry until there's something good. All right. So that's it, guys. Have a good rest of your night. Please leave any questions down below. Like the channel and subscribe. Really helps the YouTube algorithm. And we'll be back tomorrow. Okay, thanks.